Namo Buddhaya, meritorious devotees. Our Blessed One, Shakyamuni Gautama Buddha, our teacher who guide us in the right path, taught us many meditation techniques. For an example, like loving kindness meditation is to overcome hatred. Then breathing meditation can be used to calm our mind, to subside the thoughts in the mind, and with a calm mind to realize the Four Noble Truths. So, just as we practice loving kindness meditation to overcome hatred and breathing meditation to overcome the agitated mind, Blessed One taught a nice meditation technique to overcome lust. Now, when we talk about lust, you might be wondering what this lust is. Lust can be there. Lust is something that you could develop towards food. Because of lust in your mind, attachment will be there. You could develop attachment towards food. You could get attached to beautiful things that you see. Could be a beautiful object, a beautiful human being, or you could lust could arise because of your own body. So to overcome lust, there should be a way. So beautiful things we will see every day. We cannot avoid seeing beautiful things. We cannot avoid seeing delicious food and beautiful objects. Amidst of seeing all these beautiful things, there should be a way for us to live without getting attached to these beautiful things. So there's a secret. Now, why we should remain without getting attached, we should explain that also. Now imagine we see something beautiful today. Then next day we see something more beautiful. What will happen? We will like the more beautiful thing than what you saw the previous day. Now if it is something to do with objects, like things that you can buy, or things that even if it is food, never mind, you can buy something better next day. If it is a vehicle, you can buy another vehicle. Then if it is clothes, you can buy. But then if you can't afford, what can you do? Then we will suffer. If you can't afford, you will suffer. Then when we come to the last stage of our life, can we eat what we want? Can we dress what we want? No. So then there is one fine day, you can't fulfill your desires with the help of money, with the help of your wealth. You will need to have a developed mind to control your thoughts that arise due to lust. Now, these are just objects I explain. Now imagine you are in relation with someone. You have married already. But then you see someone beautiful after a few days. You see someone with more qualities, or maybe you see someone with more wealth. Maybe the voice is beautiful. Maybe the face is beautiful. Maybe the skin color is beautiful. Then what happens? Then if your mind inclined towards that person, what will happen to your family life? What will happen to your children? How will your children call their mother and father? If their friends ask about their parents, how will they answer? So if we can't control our thoughts properly, we won't be able to live peacefully. We will see beautiful things each and every day. So when people can't control their lust, that's why some people doesn't recognize even their relatives. They break the harmony of other people's. They break the harmony of others. They break other people's good family lives. The people who can't control their lust, they will perform bad actions from their body, speech and mind. There's no doubt in that. Why? When lust arises, they will steal. And when lust arises, even if it is a relative, they don't mind, they will somehow or other try to engage in sexual activities. So lust is something that makes people blind. Lust is something that makes people unaware of what they are doing. Lust is something that breaks the people's vision. Lust is something that makes people live without mindfulness. Lust is something that makes people's life miserable. And when people are overwhelmed with lust, they won't be able to control their verbal actions, bodily actions, and their thoughts. So, lust will control their lives. When our lives get controlled by lust, what happens? That's where people kill living beings, rape cases, child abuse, all these unnecessary things human beings shouldn't do, but human beings will do when they are overwhelmed with lust. So, for such a world, for such human beings, the Blessed One, out of compassion, taught a wonderful meditation, that is Asubha meditation, contemplating on the impurities in the body. Then all these lustful thoughts will get abandoned and we will live free of lust. They were the great arahants who lived in the past, who abandoned lust forever. By abandoning lust, they were able to live without suffering from lust. They were able to live without suffering. Now, when we get overwhelmed with lust, we need to fulfill those desires. But when you abandon lust, no such evil desires arise in our mind. Even if lust arises while you are meditating, even if you have not achieved that state yet you will be able to control the lustful thoughts by seeing the disgusting nature of this body. And you will be able to protect your precepts. How nice it is to practice the Asubha meditation. So may you have the opportunity to practice the Asubha meditation. So now I will utter the 32 impurities, each and every part. So close your eyes and listen to the verses and think according to what I say. If someone is unable to close their eyes, maybe thinking that they would feel sleepy, they can do walking meditation and listen to the verses and contemplate the 32 impurities. So now sit in a comfortable position with the mind alert. Slowly reflect on these thoughts. This meditation can be practiced in all the 4 postures, while standing, sitting, walking, and whenever you are awake. Listen to me and think according to what I say. Since head hairs on this body are rotting away, smelling, living on a filthy body and deteriorating. Head hairs are disgusting to see and touch. Since body hairs on this body are rotting away, smelling, living on a filthy body and deteriorating. Body hairs are disgusting to see and touch. Since nails on this body are rotting away, smelling, living on a filthy body and deteriorating. Nails are disgusting to see and touch. Since teeth in this body are rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Teeth are disgusting to see and touch. Since skin on this body is rotting away, smelling, living on a filthy body and deteriorating. Skin is disgusting to see and touch. Since flesh in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Flesh is disgusting to see and touch. Since sinews in this body are rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Sinews are disgusting to see and touch. Since bones in this body are rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Bones are disgusting to see and touch. Since bone marrow in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Bone marrow is disgusting to see and touch. Since kidneys in this body are rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Kidneys are disgusting to see and touch. Since the heart in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. The heart is disgusting to see and touch. Since the liver in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body, and deteriorating. The liver is disgusting to see and touch. Since the diaphragm in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body, and deteriorating. The diaphragm is disgusting to see and touch. Since the spleen in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body, and deteriorating. The spleen is disgusting to see and touch. Since the lungs in this body are rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body, and deteriorating. The lungs are disgusting to see and touch. Since the bowels in this body are rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body, and deteriorating. The bowels are disgusting to see and touch. Since the small intestines in this body are rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body, and deteriorating. The small intestines are disgusting to see and touch. Since the contents of the stomach in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body, and deteriorating. The contents of the stomach is disgusting to see and touch. Since excrement in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Excrement is disgusting to see and touch. Since the brain in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. The brain is disgusting to see and touch. Since bile in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Bile is disgusting to see and touch. Since phlegm in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Phlegm is disgusting to see and touch. Since pus in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Pus is disgusting to see and touch. Since blood in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Blood is disgusting to see and touch. Since sweat on this body is rotting away, smelling, living on a filthy body and deteriorating. Sweat is disgusting to see and touch. Since fat in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Fat is disgusting to see and touch. Since tears in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Tears is disgusting to see and touch. Since grace in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Grace is disgusting to see and touch. Since saliva in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Saliva is disgusting to see and touch. Since mucus in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Mucus is disgusting to see and touch. Since fluid of the joints in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Fluid of the joints is disgusting to see and touch. Since urine in this body is rotting away, smelling, living in a filthy body and deteriorating. Urine is disgusting to see and touch. All this time, we were contemplating the 32 impurities in our body. to understand the true nature of the body and to get detached to the body, and also to get detached to the other people's bodies and live a peaceful life without suffering by getting attached to these impure bodies. Even our bodies are decorated, well decorated. This true nature will never abandon, that will remain. So let's not get deceived by this body and overcome lust forever by practicing this Asubha meditation every day in our life and live a peaceful life. Namo Buddhaya. Teruvan Saranai. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Meritorious Dhamma friends and dear children, we were very fortunate we were able to be born as human beings in this life. Since we were born as human beings, we got the ability to see this world, and after seeing something we can think, and we can hear things, we can smell things, we can taste, and we feel things through the body, and also we can think from our mind. Dear Dhamma friends and dear children, but if we misuse this ability, the ability of seeing things, the ability of hearing things and smelling things, what will happen? A bad karma will get accumulated to our life. A bad karma will get accumulated to our life. So, as human beings, we know that we need to gain education. We understand that we should keep our body clean, and we know that we should build houses, and we should save money, then we should have a good education, and we should become popular, and to get high marks, then to maintain a good health. These things, people are aware of these things. But ordinary people, without the help of a Buddha, people don't understand that when people do something, when people do actions by body, when people talk intentionally, when people do actions by body intentionally, what happens? A karma is accumulated to people's life, to one's life. So that karma means something that gives results in the future. So for an example, if we see something and if it is beautiful, we might feel like having it for ourselves. But if it is difficult, if a very poor person sees something beautiful and something very valuable, and if he is unable to get that, what would he do? He or she probably will steal. Why? The idea is to have it for him or for herself. But just having it can fulfill the desire for once. But again, when that person sees another beautiful thing, he will need to have that. So when you, now in this world there are pleasant things and unpleasant things as well. So when you see pleasant things, you get attached. When you see unpleasant things, you get opposed. If it is not pleasant, if it is not unpleasant, what happens? We get deceived. So we should understand that we are living with such a nature. that when we see things, we get attracted, and when we see unpleasant things, we get opposed. And we get deceived when we see neither pleasant and neither unpleasant. So the mistake or the problem is not seeing beautiful things. Beautiful things are there in the world. But what we should understand is when we see beautiful things through our eyes and experience wonderful things, pleasant things through our six sense faculties, which I told earlier, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. We should learn a method to remain and survive without getting attached to them. If we see a beautiful thing, we should be able to maintain our mind to be detached to that. When you are detached to the external world, you won't feel like having desires to get them for yourself, or to steal, or to take revenge. And if we don't get something that we want, which we really need, something desperately, what will happen? Sometimes if another person gets that, we might take revenge. We might feel jealous. We might be jealous for that. So dear Dhamma friends, to overcome these attachments, to live without taking revenge from others, to live a peaceful life while having these six sense faculties until we attain Nibbana, we should learn a way to be detached when we see things and experience things with the external world. So to be detached, Buddha taught us in many ways. Buddha taught us, remember that we are depending on karma, and this karma is coming behind ourselves like the two wheels following the hoof of the ox. Just imagine, as long as the ox moves, the wheels are also moving. So for the ox, it's heavy for that ox. Carrying a bullock cart is not easy. So when you accumulate bad karma, that comes behind us. When you accumulate good karma, that also comes behind us. But Buddha said that is like the shadow that never leaves you. So until we attain Nibbana, we should live peacefully. So to live peacefully, we should accumulate good karma. So to accumulate good karma, we can develop patience. We can develop qualities like contentment. That means to be happy with what we have. As children, you may see beautiful things in the world, in the supermarkets, in the outside, in the shops that you see. When you are going in the road, you may see various things. You may if you see something today, you may need that. If you see something day after tomorrow, you will need that as well. But your parents can't buy that. So when they tell you, sometimes your parents might tell you, please Puta, give me another 1 month, give me another 2 months, give me another 2 weeks. So we might wait for that. But finally, even after waiting for 2 weeks, we might not get that. Then we should find a way to be happy even in bad times, in that kind of situations. So that's why we should learn qualities like being happy with what we have. We should understand that we are depending on karma and avoid doing bad deeds. And also by seeing things as impermanent, seeing things as temporary. Whatever the beautiful things that we experience in life are temporary. Even if we get those things for ourselves, we will lose them one day. And when we lose these pleasant things, again we will feel sad. So when you see pleasant things, remember that these things are ending with suffering. So when you think in that way, you won't get attached. When you don't get attached to the external world, what happens? Since you are detached, you don't suffer because of others. You don't suffer when you don't get what you want. So we can live peacefully. So by learning the Buddha's teachings today, this wonderful Dhamma, by learning the way how to control the six sense faculties, may you have the opportunity to develop qualities and control the six sense faculties and live a peaceful life and realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Namo Buddhaya.
There are these three characteristics of a fool. Here, a fool is one who thinks bad thoughts, speaks bad words, and does bad deeds. He doesn't know about the mechanism of karma. A fool who has given himself over to misconduct of body, speech, and mind on the dissolution of body after death reappears in a state of deprivation, even in hell. Were it rightly speaking to be said of anything that is utterly unwished for, utterly undesired, utterly unpleasant, and utterly disagreeable, it is of hell that rightly speaking this should be said. He undergoes various kinds of punishment. The wardens of hell take him and plunge him into a burning pot. The wardens of hell throw him down and pare him with axes. Next, the wardens of hell harness him to a chariot and drive him back and forth across ground that is burning, blazing, and glowing. Yet he does not die so long as that evil action has not exhausted its result. There are these three characteristics of a fool. Here, a fool is one who thinks bad thoughts, speaks bad words, and does bad deeds. He doesn't know about the mechanism of karma. A fool who has given himself over to misconduct of body, speech, and mind on the dissolution of body after death reappears in a state of deprivation, even in hell. Were it rightly speaking to be said of anything that is utterly unwished for, utterly undesired, utterly unpleasant, and utterly disagreeable, it is of hell that rightly speaking this should be said. He undergoes various kinds of punishment. The wardens of hell take him and plunge him into a burning pot. The wardens of hell throw him down and pare him with axes. Next, the wardens of hell harness him to a chariot and drive him back and forth across ground that is burning, blazing, and glowing. Yet he does not die so long as that evil action has not exhausted its result.
Good morning, Amma. What's the time? I need to listen to monks in the morning.
Namo Buddhaya. Welcome back to Monks in the Morning from Colombo Dhamma Friends with Mahame Onawa. The monks here are so happy to get to spend time with you now. It's really hard to find people in the world who are interested in learning and practicing the Dhamma.
Namo Buddhaya, dear parents and Dhamma friends. I invite all of you to listen to Monks in the Morning daily to make your life meritorious. Namo Buddhaya.